I love dinosaurs. I mean, I'm not a paleontologist or anything like that. I wouldn't be able to tell you most things about dinosaurs. In fact, the way I like dinosaurs would probably make paleontologists annoyed. And that's that I don't know much about them, but just think they're cool in media. The original Jurassic Park is a really good movie, and I think the dinosaur designs are really neat, even if horribly inaccurate. And I don't care if they're horribly inaccurate. Look at that. It's cool. That's why I'll drop pretty much anything I'm doing or any game I'm playing to try out a new dinosaur game, no matter how small or low budget it is. That's where today's game comes from, Rip Current, which is a really badass name for a game focusing on marine dinosaurs. The game starts with you being debriefed in a helicopter. You play as Carter, a PMC, and you are investigating a private marine research facility experiencing a blackout and not responding to any communication. Side note, why are you always debriefed in a helicopter? Surely it would be more efficient to tell you what's going on before you're going there. After this short debrief, you are dropped off on an island. And this is where I noticed something weird. Someone smeared Vaseline on everything. Seriously, the lighting is super weird in this game. Everything is very shiny. And I'll have to mention the game's options. There isn't really many of them. And motion blur is annoyingly tied to post-processing. Yeah, this is a thing that's happening again. I hate it when games do this. Let me turn off motion blur. Other than that, the game looks fine for a $10 indie game and runs fairly well with the occasional stutter when loading. They didn't try too hard graphically, which is good. Don't go in too deep if you don't have the resources. I'd rather have a worse looking game that plays well than a really good looking game running at 20 FPS. The voice acting, on the other hand, it's a little mixed. The guys in the helicopter have good voice acting, but the main character's voice acting is lacking.
Approaching Post Salvo's compound. You holding up back there, Carter?
You betcha. What's the deal with this place?
It's a private marine research facility. Client's a group called New Ocean Research.
It's not the worst I've heard, but it's certainly not the best. The game's tutorial doubles as a way to build up some quiet tension, which is pretty smart. But quickly after this, you will finally encounter your first dinosaur.
The hell is that thing?
Dinosaur. Yeah, the guns don't necessarily feel very powerful, and the dinosaurs are kind of stiff. I can forgive the dinosaurs because they're definitely good enough for a $10 game, but the guns are pretty underwhelming, especially since you only get 2. The second one is a strong shotgun that doesn't even have a proper reloading animation and can only carry 2 shells in the tube. Why not use a double barrel at that point instead? I shot a bullet there. Oh, that's something that you can do. It doesn't matter too much because you're not going to be using these guns very often. Ammo is very scarce. Now, I know the Steam page describes this game as survival horror, but it also says this on the same page. Fight or flight. Choose to sneak, run, or fight your way through unleashed predators. But no. You have such limited ammo that fighting your way through is not an option. This would be fine if stealth was satisfying in any way. Will you see me if I'm under here? Guess we'll find out. Wow, dinosaurs are dumber than I thought. I'm part T-Rex, I'm allowed to say that. Oh, it saw me. Oh. Will it just like forget that I'm here now? Nope, it just doesn't know what to do. Oh yeah, it just kept walking. A true stealth game. Yeah, so these dinosaurs have PS1 stealth game AI, but worse. They won't see you when you're right in front of them, and they can't attack you if you're so much as under a desk in the open. That means all this game has to offer is the concept. The set pieces are very neat, if you like dinosaurs. If you don't, then the set pieces don't even do anything for you. They're also exceptionally linear. You walk into an area, find out there's 2 ways to go. One of those ways needs a keycard, the other way leads down a linear hallway to eventually get said keycard, repeat. Anytime a dinosaur pops up, it's beyond scripted. For example, there's a mosasaur that chomps out a bridge in front of you. You'd assume this means that I have to go another way, maybe make a daring swim to the other side. But no. I'm gonna experiment and see if I can swim over there. The question is, where would I jump out at? I think it's that, but I don't think I can actually get out there. So I don't know. But let's see. If we die, we die. Oh, okay, that's cool. You just drown. Your character cannot swim. That's so underwhelming. Your special ops, yet you can't swim? The biggest threat in this game is your own lack of coordination. What you actually need to do is run to the other side before the Mosasaur destroys the bridge. Meaning if you don't make it, you have stranded yourself and need to either die or reload from your last checkpoint, which is dumb. In fact, dying in this game is incredibly underwhelming. Hey. You gonna take off? You know what? Here's the test. Here's the vor test. We're going at it. Darn, there is no vor. You just die. It's too realistic for my liking. 0 out of 10. It's a dino game without gore or death scenes. At least add some ragdoll or something. The current death screen is just... it's so abrupt. It also means you're free from vor in this video. I know. Truly disappointing. Okay, so what's actually going on in this story? Well, this is basically another Jurassic Park setup, but instead with marine dinosaurs, which is a pretty neat twist I do actually like. Putting players in water is a very easy way to make you feel vulnerable. I'm sure we all learned that from Half-Life.
Yep, I knew it. Where'd you go?
This research facility was creating marine dinosaurs in an attempt to save the changing oceans.
Years ago, New Ocean Research, backed quietly by shadow investors, established this installation with a singular goal: to build resilience into the future of our oceans. We began by engineering new life forms, hybrids, modeled after ancient aquatic reptiles, capable of surviving the escalating heat and acidity of our seas. Apex predators were our starting point, keystone species to anchor entirely new ecosystems.
I feel like that's a terrible place to start. They ran into a roadblock when they realized trying to figure out millions of years of evolution in a few years in a lab was a tall task. So, they made an AI do it instead. This AI's job was to figure out evolution paths for them, which was far more efficient. Unfortunately, this AI did exactly what you'd expect evolution to do when tasked to see things from the dinosaur's side. It saw everything else as a threat, including humans, especially humans, and started breeding the dinosaurs to be hostile, and took over the facility. It was effectively breeding dinosaurs to try to take out everything else. Your job then was to disable the AI, take the data, and leave. Oh, and there was an added mission to gas all the dinosaurs on your way out? No, this is not optional. I don't want to Hitler the dinosaurs, come on, make it optional. Anyway, you are forced to gas all the dinosaurs, escaping by getting into a helicopter without any satisfying final end to the Spino that had been chasing you the entire game, or the Mosasaur. These two dinosaurs were very pivotal things in this game. Anywhere you went, they were there. It was pretty obvious you couldn't kill them, so you needed to run away from them, and get them to stop trying to tail you. You never really confront them though, you just kind of fly away. Yeah, it's probably the most logical thing you could do here, but also it's just not very rewarding. That data you collected from the AI, you decide it's not really worth it for the rest of the world to see this, which is probably smart, honestly, and then the game just ends. So, how do I feel about Rip Current? Well, there's no good combat, there's no good stealth, there's a meh story, leaving only a cool concept that works only if you like dinosaurs, and even then, it's just very robotic, scripted set pieces with sudden "you died" screens. Now, for a $10 indie game, we should lower our expectations. And in that case, it's fine. It's functional, it runs okay, it's playable, but it's also just underwhelming in general. It is only $10, so if you're looking for something that plays like a very scripted stealth cutscene, more or less, then I don't know, you'll probably enjoy the hour and 45 minutes it took me to play through while taking my time while talking to my Twitch chat. Most complaints can be brushed away by going, oh, but it's only $10 and, you know, it's an indie game, but it's not a horrible flop of a failure, it's just not great. I don't know. Try it if you want to, but I'd probably skip it, to be honest. Man, making negative reviews about indie games always feels horrible, because I never really want to do it, And I don't know if I really consider this that negative, but I wouldn't consider it positive either. Just know that none of this is personal. If any of the devs are watching this, I don't mean this to come out as a, your game is terrible and you should feel bad. Like, clearly they're making strides. Clearly, it's a polished game that is doing what it's trying to do, and it's one of their earlier projects. There's much to learn. Hey, huge thanks goes to my channel members, especially you, Slawprano and Optic T-Drop, who just became a member not too long ago. I'm gonna start choosing random members and just be like, hey, thank you guys. In all reality, I mean, thank all you guys. The money really does help pay some of my bills, and I could really need that. Also, it helps me just keep doing this. Be a virtual dragon on the internet that's part T-Rex. And stare at other dinosaurs all day. Hey, if you want to watch some of my other stuff, here's a big playlist of things that are just like this. Here's a recommended video over there somewhere. If you want to subscribe, you can do that over here. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, up there, I stream at least once a week. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.